If you spend any time trading gold, you'll probably notice something frustrating. Some days the market seems to make sense, the trend is clear, the moves are clean, and it feels like every pullback has potential. Then there are days like this, price breaks out, fails, breaks another level, fails again. A setup looks great for a few candles, and then suddenly you're the stop down. Now take a look at these trades. Every one of these trades was taken using the strategy I'm gonna show you today. But before you start thinking this video is about finding entries, it's not. Because the biggest mistake I see traders make isn't bad entries, it's bad trade selection. They're risking money in markets that don't deserve their money. And that's what this video is really about. Not how to find more trades, how to find better ones. Because the truth is, a lot of losing trades never should have been taken in the first place. So before we talk about entries, indicators or rules, let's talk about real problem. Look at this chart. Nothing fancy, just price. Nothing was happening. Price moves up, then down, then up again, then back down. It's moving, but it's not really going anywhere. This is where a lot of traders get trapped. Every little breakout looks exciting. Every candle looks like an opportunity. And before they knew it, they're taking trade after trade in a market that has no clear direction. Look closely. Price can't decide where it wants to go. Buyers push, sellers push back, then buyers push again. Nobody is really taking control. And when that's happening, I don't care how good a setup looks. It's not interested, because when the market has no direction, the odds of getting chopped up increase fast. This is exactly where many traders slowly drain their account, not from one huge loss, but from taking too many low quality trades. Now compare that to this section. Immediately, you can see the difference. Price starts making higher highs, higher lows, the market has direction. There's a clear push higher. Now imagine somebody trying to sell into that move. Can it work? Of course, anything can happen. But look at what they're fighting. They're fighting the trend, they're fighting momentum, they're trying to predict a reversal while the market is still moving higher. And that's why so many traders feel like they're always one step behind. They're focused on finding signals. I'm more interested in finding situation worth risking money on. That's a completely different mindset. So before I even think about entering a trade, I want to answer to a simple question. Does this market actually have momentum behind it? Because if the answer is no, there's a good chance I'm wasting my time. That's where the first tool comes in. We're going to use RSI, but probably not the way most people use it. Most traders use RSI as a signal indicator. Overbought means sell, oversold means buy. The problem is that strong trends can stay overbought or oversold for a very long time. So instead of using RSI to predict reversals, we're going to use it to measure momentum. For the settings, disable the standard RSI line and enable the RSI-based moving average. Leave the length at 14. Set the upper level to 54 and the lower level to 44. Once that's done, we have three zones: an upper zone, a mid zone, and a lower zone. Now let's see what they're actually telling us. When RSI is above the upper zone, I'm not thinking buy. What I'm seeing is momentum. The move has a strength behind it. Buyers are clearly doing more work than sellers. Prices move with purpose. Now look at the opposite side. When RSI drops below the lower zone, selling pressure is taking over. Prices moving lower with conviction, the move has downside momentum behind it. But most important area is actually the middle zone, because this is where momentum starts disappearing. And when momentum disappears, I start paying attention for a different reason. Not because I want to trade, because I might want to stay out. Watch this example. RSI is sitting right in the middle zone. Now look at the chart above it. Price is going nowhere. This is exactly the kind of setup that traps impatient traders. A breakout appears, then fails. Another move starts, then stalls. This is where I start filtering trades out. Now look at what happens next. RSI drops below the lower zone, and at the same time price starts moving lower. Notice how different that chart looks. The market isn't drifting anymore. Now we've got movement. Now we've got direction. Now we've got something to work with. Then later RSI pushes into the upper zone and suddenly price starts moving higher again. The difference is easy to see. One environment is creating opportunities, the other is creating noise. And that's really the first job of this strategy, not finding trades, filtering out bad ones. Now momentum alone isn't enough. A market can show momentum for a short period and still fail. Now let's add the final piece, market structure. Because even when momentum looks good and trend looks good, I still want to know where price is actually sitting. This is where the swing structure band indicator comes in. The indicator highlights important swing highs and swing lows, areas where price previously reacted. And these areas matter because they help us understand the current structure of the market. In an uptrend, price generally creates higher highs and higher lows. In a downtrend, price generally creates lower highs and lower lows. That's exactly what we're looking for. Evidence, not prediction. Evidence. Now let's put everything together. Let's start with the sell setup. The first thing I want to see is bearish structure. Price needs to be below the swing structure bands. That tells me sellers are controlling the market. Next, I find the most recent swing low. This becomes an important support area. Now here's where patience comes in. I don't sell immediately. I wait. I want the price to prove something. I want to see support break. If support holds, I'm not interested. But if support breaks, now I start paying attention. Then I check momentum. If the RSI is below the lower zone, bearish momentum is present. At that point, a structure is bearish. Momentum is bearish. Everything is pointing in the same direction. Now the trade deserves risk. For the stop loss, I place it above the most recent swing high or above the upper structure band, because if price gets back above that area, the idea behind the trade starts breaking down and I want out. For the target, I use the risk to reward ratio of 1 to 1.5. Simple, consistent, no guessing. Now let's look at the buy setup. The process is exactly the same. Price is above the swing structure bands, a structure is bullish, price breaks above the resistance, RSI is above the upper zone, momentum supports the move, the market is telling the same story for multiple angles. That's the type of setup I'm willing to take. And if you notice something, none of those trades started with an entry signal. Every trade started with a decision process. First, does the market have momentum? Second, is there an actual trend? Third, does the structure support the idea? If the answer is no to any of these questions, I simply move on. And that's really the biggest lesson from this entire strategy. Most traders spend their time looking for trades. I spend most of my time filtering them out because protecting capital is part of trading. Patience is part of trading, waiting is part of trading, and the best trades are the ones that have already proven themselves before you ever click the buy or sell button. So next time you're looking at the gold chart, don't ask yourself where the signal is. Ask yourself where the market has actually earned your risk, because the goal isn't to catch every move. The goal is to be there when a good one shows up.